Hello. You have caught me not doing a traditional Friday feature this week because we've been busy, Elle.
Very busy.
This week. But what you have also caught me doing is being incredibly excited, and I don't use that word lightly. There seem to be loads of games all of a sudden, Elle, that have us feeling like ridiculously excited to the level where we feel like kids in a sweet shop again. I mean, some of the games we're going to talk about on this list, I genuinely haven't felt as excited about any game for flipping years. We're going to talk about 7 such games. Elle, you're going to kick us off with...
Cyberpunk. I mean, look at us. We're literally sat in Cyberpunk jackets.
2077. It's like... but yeah, we saw this game and...
We saw a big chunky demo. So I think... kind of the same length as we saw last year, so that was like a big one then, and then we've seen another huge chunk now. So I feel like we've got a really good understanding of the game, and my understanding is, oh my god, it looks awesome. Like I can't believe how detailed it is. Yeah. I can't believe the level of customization there is for your character. Exactly, so one of the things that they did for us was play through a mission twice and showed us 2 different characters or 2 different builds and how they would play through it. So one was very stealthy, one was kind of hacking security cameras, doing things like that, and then one was me. And they were using their gorilla arms, which are a cool cybernetic enhancement, one of the enhancements you can get, which are these super strong robot
gorilla arms, which basically just rip open doors.
Yeah.
And
so the first time we went through the mission, they were like, okay, you need to get down this corridor, but there's a security camera, so hack into the security camera, then run a line and go and find where it goes and type it, and then the next person, they were like, and now we're going to switch, and that one was like, and just ripped a door open and went through the side. So I was like, yeah, that's me.
Also ripping a gun turret off its emplacement. We thought, they're going to use the gun turret. No. Ripped the gun turret off and just started stomping about the place Terminator style.
Yeah.
But I thought the cool thing about it was, even though as you said, one run through was stealthy, the other one was all guns blazing. The stealthy run wasn't just I'll just sneak through here, let's make sure no one sees me. You can hack into people's heads and make them do horrible things to themselves.
It was incredible.
There was a guy working out on, what are those things? I don't go to gyms. Elle, what are those
He was
called?
doing a chest press.
A chest
on
press,
it,
yeah. You can probably tell. I don't know what that is. But in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, everything is linked up to a network. And so if you're a skilled hacker, you can hack into the bench pressing machine.
Yeah.
And we did hack into the bench pressing machine, and it did not go well for the person who was using it. Also, flaming garrote wires.
So these were called nano wires.
Right.
And they were, they were fantastic. So the first time we saw them, didn't we? They were used like a kind of a laser whip almost, and they could slice through somebody, literally cut them into pieces. But then the next time we saw them, you could flick them, and they also can latch into somebody's brain entry point.
Yeah.
And hack them to do different things. So they were amazing.
Yeah, that was ridiculously cool. So we need to stop talking about Cyberpunk 2077, otherwise we're not going to get through this list. Because there are 6 more games to get through, one of which is a game you have seen recently and looks really, really cool, The Outer Worlds.
Yeah, so this does look amazing. So I think this was another one that we didn't really know much about to begin with. So it was kind of like a surprise. We weren't really expecting it. And then they released a really cool trailer, and it was like, oh, what's this?
Yeah.
And what it turns out to be is the best Fallout you could ever imagine.
Which I think it's developed by Obsidian, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
If you didn't know, they're the developers of Fallout New Vegas,
widely
considered one of, if not maybe the best Fallout game.
Definitely the
best. According to Elle.
Best. Yeah. So and I think what I like is that they're really leaning into it. They don't mind you saying it's a really good Fallout, and it really is. So it's got everything you love. So it has VATS, but it's called I think tactical time management or something like that. It's so you can still do that really cool slow-mo targeting, just blow someone's head off. It's got loads of people to align yourself with, that you can decide whether to double cross them or you can work with them, and then it looks amazing. So it's set we only saw one planet. There's multiple planets, but the one we saw in particular, it went horribly wrong during the terraforming, and so it's full of crazy environments and even crazier creatures, and so it looked really fun. When we got to the end, I was just raring to see more. And
that's cool.
When you get to the end like that, and that's how you feel, you always know it's going to be a good game.
Definitely. I mean, we've got a video on the channel already where we talk about the Outer Worlds in more detail, but from everything you've told me about it, it's just as a Fallout fan, I'm just okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm basically just in.
Exactly.
Just a Fallout style open world role-playing game where bad things have happened and
and
you
the
get to
graphics
make
as
cool
well.
choices.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is like, you know, it's everything you love about Fallout, but then in this new, like, the graphics are just really, really good. It looks really good.
Awesome.
And so it's just like an enhanced Fallout experience. You know, it really is. Like, if you love New Vegas, and you should have, then it's then, you know, it's everything you loved about that. But I think just kind of like amped up, pumped up, made bigger and better, and like I was really excited by the end. I didn't really expect to. I didn't know what I was expecting, and then I came out like, oh my god.
Well, that is one to look forward to then. Another one to look forward to. We're channeling the spirit of Dave now.
He's right here.
He's actually right behind the camera, looking very excited right now, because we're about to talk about Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which sounds like insanely incredible. I mean, Lego games are always... I mean, I absolutely love Lego games. Like Lego Lord of the Rings, I absolutely love being in that world and having the thing I love made a bit funny and silly.
Yeah.
But there's always like a surprising amount of depth to them.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
with this one, it sounds like the depth is just off the scale. It's off the chart. Amazing.
And I'm so surprised because, you know, again, that's what I was thinking, is they're always, I think Lego games are always more than you think you would think for a Lego game. You know, they're always deeper, but this just sounds like they've gone completely to another level. You know, you can play through all 9 Star Wars films. So it's, you know,
one of which isn't even out yet.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? It's like, oh.
So this game's not coming till 2020, by the way.
Yeah, so
it's
sorry,
not like
don't get too...
It's not like you'll be playing the game
down
before you see The Rise of Skywalker in cinemas.
But yeah, so it sounds like you can... Basically, it sounds like you can play all your favourite moments. So, like, you know, you can fly around different planets. So I think when Dave played it, he said, you know, they landed on Tatooine.
In the Return of the Jedi era.
In the Return of the Jedi era. And so... And, you know, they looked up and they could see like Jabba's palace, and it was like they could go and fight the Rancor. It's like that kind of thing. You know, you can play out your favourite moments. Which, I mean, it just sounds like my perfect Star Wars game. Like,
and
that's
like
what I want.
I mean, cool numbers. 200 playable characters.
Do you mean 200 and like the fun thing as well is like Dave said that there was a part where they saw Gonk, and if you went and talked to him as like any other character than C-3PO, he could only say Gonk to you. But because C-3PO obviously can translate,
he's fluent in however many languages it is, I don't know.
If you switch to him, he can. Which, oh my god, what a great little
just
detail.
A cool little bit of detail.
Yeah.
But also exciting, and we've got to move on. But I'm going to say about this: the start, you can be in space as well in the Millennium Falcon, and like Star Destroyers can just like zap in from any, and if you want to, you can go on them and explore them. And apparently, another cool number: Star Destroyers are made out of 18 million Lego bricks.
It's just so cool.
Which is just, you know, a cool number.
Yeah, it really is.
So that is definitely a game to get excited about. This next game, I think, has to top my list now.
I know,
it's a game I've been trying not to get too excited about, but I just can't help myself now. It's like a volcano has erupted, and that is a Final Fantasy VII Remake, which we have seen extra footage of now.
Yeah.
We've seen like lots of the opening area, and we've actually played the game.
We have played it.
So Elle and I have both played the boss fight against the Scorpion Sentinel in the first Mako reactor. I still like to pronounce it Mako, even though in the trailers they say Marco.
I did notice that.
I always pronounced it Mako, so for me, Mako. Although officially it's Marco, apparently. But anyway, this boss fight is just amazing, and the cool thing about it was I was maybe a bit worried that it was going to be too hack and slashy, but it absolutely wasn't. And I think if anything, it's even more strategic. You have to think more than you do in the original Final Fantasy VII. Like, this Scorpion Sentinel is not a pushover by any stretch of the imagination. Like, you have to stagger enemies, and you have specific moves that are effective in terms of staggering enemies, and there are, you know, enemies have elemental weaknesses. There's loads to be thinking about, on top of the fact that it looks spectacularly cinematic as well.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what surprised me, is that, you know, I wanted it to be hack and slashy, because, you know, I did not like the turn-based original, and I was like, you know, I don't want to wait to like hit somebody with my enormous Buster Sword. But what I actually loved was the management. It added so much depth to the combat. I was surprised by how much I absolutely loved that fight. Like, it was, you know, having to, or like running in with Cloud and his like enormous Buster Sword, like doing a huge amount of damage, using like slowing time and using an ability, and then immediately switching over so I could capitalize on that moment, you know, with Barrett. Was just fantastic. And once you've staggered an enemy, oh my god, is it delicious to like just use that massive like vulnerable moment they have to just smash in with damage. It was I could have played for hours. I was so blown away by it.
It's so cool that, as someone who has not played much Final Fantasy VII, you liked it that much, but also like just outside of analysing anything about the game, just as someone who does love Final Fantasy VII, it just feels like everything that we have dreamed. Like all of these years, people have been wanting a Final Fantasy VII remake, and it's here now, and it looks and plays exactly like we wanted it to look and play, and it's just like ridiculously exciting. And it's coming in March, and I've played it, and oh my god. Next up, Elle, is a game that the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare is in the 2007 game, one of your favourite games of all time.
Yeah, absolutely one of my favourite games of all time. Like I love this more than anything.
Yeah.
So this time when they were like, this is Modern Warfare, we're not adding a number, this is Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
I was like, these are big claims you're making. Yeah. But having seen a little bit of it now behind the scenes, oh my god, does it look amazing.
Yeah.
It's everything I wanted. So it's, obviously there's Price back. Let's be clear. Price is back. He's still got the mustache. I'm very excited to see him. They've gone with a new actor and still fully captured Price, because that was my main thing, is once I heard there was going to be a new actor, I was like, oh, I don't know so much of it, but it's still completely him. And in the scene we saw, he's doing a kind of night vision mission through a house,
right?
And you're kind of listening to his commands as he takes you through, or like berates people for being too slow, or and it was so good.
I can't wait to be told off by Price.
Yeah, it's all like what?
Sounds great.
And it's perfect. And they said for that scene that they'd really researched, like spoken to kind of SWAT teams and that kind of thing about the movements they would make, and you could just feel that. So you were just walking through a house, killing people, but you could really feel the tactical way they did it, and how they would stop at this point here and then send people forward, the way you had to go into a room and try and sweep it, and it was so tense. It's night vision, so it always is, and some of the rooms are locked and some of them aren't, and there's some kind of surprise shooting through walls, and it felt the same way I felt when I played the first one. And we've also got an interview as well with the narrative lead, and he was saying that gameplay variety is going to be big in this as well, and the kind of little bits and pieces that I've seen make it seem
I can't wait.
It's going to be
I honestly
Warfare.
Can't wait. It's going to be so cool. The next game we're going to talk about is a game that a week ago I didn't even know existed, and now has all of a sudden become probably in my top 3 most anticipated games, and that is Elden Ring, which, if you don't know, where have you been, is it's the new collaboration between Miyazaki and From Software, the creators of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and George R.R. Martin, the author of A Song of Ice and Fire, otherwise known as Game of Thrones. And those two kind of creative powerhouses together creating a game is just like a mind-blowingly exciting thing, even though we really don't know too much detail.
Nothing.
We've not really seen anything apart from an announcement trailer, but the caliber of those two creators, and apparently George R. Martin's written loads of backstory and lore for this
Glad he's
world.
writing something, apparently.
But that is amazingly exciting, and traditionally I don't get on well with Dark Souls because I just suck at them. I'm so bad at them. I always want so badly to be able to play them, but I just get my ass kicked over and over again, and I think I'm just going to have to get on with it and play this one.
We have to. I mean, it doesn't even sound real. When they were first, obviously it got leaked a little bit beforehand, and I was like, I don't think that could possibly be real. That just sounds like a fever dream. It's so perfect.
That's well named dropped there.
Oh,
the
yes,
Fever
of
Dream.
course, yeah.
George R. R. Martin, also another book he's written.
Yeah.
But just insanely exciting to think of a game of the depth and caliber of Dark Souls that also has George R. R. Martin on board. I
can't even imagine what it's going to be, but I'm going to spend a lot of time trying.
Absolutely. And the last game on our list, Elle, is one probably that you didn't really know much about until you saw it.
Yeah.
And since you've seen it, you haven't really talked about anything else.
It's Watch Dogs Legion. I'm so excited about this. So before I knew it was set in London, and I'd heard the confusing phrase, which was you can play as any NPC,
right? Which
seemed very confusing, and I was like, what does that even mean? And then we went and had a little presentation before where they started to explain it, and I was like, oh no, this sounds really exciting. And then we got to go hands-on, and I just lost my mind. It is incredible.
I've not played it. Everyone who's played it has been saying this. Dave's been banging on about it. Been hearing you banging on about it. It's just making me jealous and annoyed.
I'm sorry. It is the best thing that I've played. It's so good. So obviously, the first thing that really gets you is they have incredibly replicated London. Like they took 80,000 photos. They sent teams over there for ages. They recorded sound in every borough. Like it's, so when you're walking around, it's like being in London.
Right.
I was walking around like my street where I used to live.
Your actual street is in the game.
Yes, yeah. So it's absolutely replicated.
That seems mad.
Yeah.
Like the detail.
It's ridiculous. And then, so yes, you can play as any NPC, except of course now PCs, I guess. And so you have to, you scan them, you can recruit them to your gang, and once they're in, you can play as them. So you can play as anybody, including shotgun wielding grandmas. The best.
I mean, I've seen the trailer, and I've got to say that is a thing I am looking forward to doing.
Oh, it was incredible. And it's incredible because she like shuffles around. So she like shuffles along, and then 2 seconds later she's like. Like it's amazing.
I like the fact that they're just embracing the fun of an open world game.
Yeah.
They're like not taking it too seriously. Play as an old grandma with a shotgun.
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds amazing, and I'm annoyed that I've not got to play it. Very annoyed. But there we go. There are 7 games that are so exciting. They are making us feel like children again. All of a sudden, it seems like an outrageously exciting time for video games.
Oh, it is. It
and
really is.
The rest of this year and early next year is just shaping up to be ridiculous. So let us know in the comments what games have got you incredibly excited. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you stay up to date with everything from the world of PlayStation.
For the players.